Good morning. Namaste. Hope you've had a beautiful week, enjoying some special weather and some really ordinary weather. It's coming and going. It is really the cusp, isn't it? We're changing into spring, so it's quite a nice time of the year, I guess, in that way. So last week we were moved on to purpose, and we continue the purpose journey today. So I hope you had a little bit of time to reflect upon what purposes you are noticing in your life, what really, gets you out of bed and drives your life forward, not just in the idea that you have work to go to, you get up, and that is really a big purpose, right? But regardless of the work aspect, that does get you out of bed every day or some days, but to really find the other driving forces in your life. And in particular at the moment, the driving forces that are fresh, that are emerging from you as a new thing, what I like to think is a memory, and whether that's a memory of a past passion, a past thing that you were interested in that fired you up as a young person, as a young adult, or maybe a past life memory, something that's in your soul. And as I mentioned last week, I honestly do feel that with this big changeover in the collective up leveling, or let's hope it's an up leveling. I think the jury's out on that so far, but let's see. So in that change, in that transformation, there is also this inner up leveling and this inner transformation that's going on. So it's remembering who you are, and remembering your purpose is to be you, like authentically, unabashedly, and 100% who you are, and to share the inner gifts that you have. And there may be some that are new to you that you're beginning to recognize as one, a passion or a purpose, mixing them together, and two, a gift, an ability that you have that you didn't really know. And remember, ability isn't so much about talent, like this innate talent, like I'm so good, like Susie has an innate talent with art. I mean, she's an artist, she's so good, right? And she's just naturally that way. But the truth is, if she wanted to become an artist, she'd have to work her little tail off, because actually most gifts or most abilities are trained. We can train ourselves. It's just practice. So practice being yourself, practice doing the things that you love to bring them more to life, and begin to really see what is fresh and new emerging in you. And in this time of humanity, we really would like to look at passions that can change, that influence change around us in a positive way, because there's a lot of negativity going on out there, and a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of people are breaking apart. So looking at your lifestyle, looking at purpose and passion and how you live. How are you living? And does it really motivate you? So this week, I'd like you to begin to really look at that angle of purpose and passion, and how passionate are you about the way you live, and what are the things that you are passionate about. Bring them to life, do them more, be more aware and focused on them, give them your attention, and let them flower more in your life, so we can open up that heart chakra that's just waiting to be flooded, because the world needs more love, more compassion, more understanding. This is so important. And so you can see how this is going to segue next week into peace, and how that these two things, when they're built strongly in our life, can give us that inner peace that we're looking for. So when it comes to purpose, there's focus. Purpose gives us a focus. So we're just going to do some breath work on that can help clear the mind and get rid of any stagnating energy. So if you would like to, you can stack a couple of blocks, one on top of the other. And we're going to come and kneel on those blocks. I might have to put my camera a little further away. And a little further away. Maybe I'll just put my camera all the way over here where it's meant to be. So we do this. So they're long ways, sit in the middle, feet on either side of the block, and just sitting on the block. Just closing the eyes and taking a quiet moment before we move any further into practice, into the body. So just taking your breath, which to me equals your awareness, breathing it into and throughout the body, and allowing the exhalation just to release out any residual sleepiness or stagnation, or perhaps even contraction, anxiety, over effort, busyness. See if you can let the features of your face really melt. And the shoulders drop away from the ears, just relaxing. Think about being on holiday, it's somewhere warm. And how does that feel in your body? We want that summer holiday feel in the features of your face and your body. And we're going to bring our hands into prayer at the heart center, interlace all the fingers by the index and thumb. And we inhale and begin to allow the arms to guide up and over our heads. And as we exhale, suck the lower navel in and slice down through the center in front of you. Inhale, drawing up and through the center, press the sit bones or grow the roots down as you root up or grow up. And exhale, slicing through the center, drawing that navel back in and down. Inhale, rise through the center. And exhale, coming down. We're going to add the Om like we did last week. So we inhale for the Om. Twice more, inhaling. Last one. Hands back to heart. Let it soak in. Then open your hands up. So the elbows are still bent and they're just out to either side of our body. We're going to tuck our thumbs in and grasp our fingers around the thumb. So we're making a fist, but with the thumbs inside. Here in front of me are two experienced yogis. So I know for sure you know how to do the fire breath. So we're going to do Bakasana and we're going to pump the breath. So We're going to do it for like a minute with the arms out like this, or if you need just a quick moment while I'm explaining for those who watch this later, it's this pumping from the belly, and we take a deeper inhale and then we just pump the breath out through the nose. I showed that through the mouth because I'm chatting, and it's just this pump, pump, pump from that belly area, right? And so we're going to do about a minute. Please take a break if you can't do it for as long as we're going to do. Just, take a break and join us again when you're ready. Or let it go. Okay. So as you're ready, take a nice deep inhale. Please pump as fast or as slow that feels right for you. One last pump. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, suck the lower navel in. You can release the arms down into your lap. Keep drawing the breath out. See, draw it out, and see if you can suck in at the end. That belly all the way in and up. You can tuck your chin in. It may be you're already out of there. That's okay. And we just pause for, say, 10 to 15. And then take a deep breath in and settle. So if you didn't get that, that's okay. I'll just quickly demonstrate that one more time. We take a deep breath in. We exhale it out. And we go all the way to the end and then suck the belly in and up. We keep sucking up really from the yoni, from the pelvic floor, from the perineum, and draw it up into the solar plexus. So you can have a little play with that. We're just going to rest into it now and just let that energy settle back in the body and feel what goes on after a practice like that. It is, you might like to practice that a couple of times during the week, particularly if you're feeling a little unclear, foggy, stagnating, or anything like that, because it really does clear the energy and give some clarity of the mind. Okay, so just taking a last couple of natural or slightly deepened breaths. And then we are going to come off these blocks, and we're going to leave the blocks around. We may need them a little later. You might need them earlier than I'm going to plan to use them. And then we're just going to lift our buttocks up, drop our heels down, and come into a forward fold. And from here, I want you just to get to know your body this morning. Just have a little sway, a little play, maybe a little figure eight with the hips and legs. Maybe just swinging the chin from side to side. Taking a breath and just folding over the thighs when you're ready. Letting the arms and head completely go. And then just beginning to swing around over to the left and then swing around over to the right. And just have a couple of moments where you swing around, and as you come to the side, half lift, do a little half lift, and then to the other side, and a little half lift as you land, and then swing back down. So just swinging from side to side. Finishing on the right side, and then coming back into the center, letting the head and arms completely hang again, bending the knees deeply, pressing the feet into the floor, rolling up like a rag doll. I'm going to need to change my camera. Just releasing through the shoulders, perhaps rolling out here. In both directions. Just noticing any tension in the neck, the shoulders, what's arising as you move. And then just add the little playful rotation through the wrists. You might even like to invite the knees and hips to join in, changing the direction. Because purpose shouldn't be all stiffness, you know, and just direction like this. We want to make our purpose enjoyable and playful as well. So bringing the hands back to the center at the heart when you're ready, and reinterlacing those fingers over the index and thumb. As we take an inhale, we're going to lift off our heels and take the arms up and over, reaching up like an arrow pointing to the sky. And as you exhale, just slowly releasing the heels down, bending the knees and dropping the arms down in front of us. And then inhale back up. And as we straighten the legs and the arms rise, so do the heels. Be in your belly center, squeeze the inner thighs together, and exhale, slowly dropping the heels, the hands, and bending the knees. And inhale, rising. And exhale, coming down slowly into chair pose. And inhale, rising. Holding there, and really press down in the ball of the big toes and squeezing into the inner thighs to keep that midline nice and strong. And then slowly keep the heels high if you can, and then just bend the knees and come forward, or down into a chair pose. So lowering the buttocks, keeping the arms there where they are, keeping the inner grip of the thighs sort of magnetizing towards each other. One more breath there. Woo-hoo. And as you exhale, folding, dropping the heels to the earth and folding over the thighs, releasing the head, the shoulders, and back to our playful action. Swaying from side to side. The best way to keep our focus is really to have little breaks so we don't over-focus. Does that help for you, Susie, when you're marking? If you like, you could have a block here under your hand in the center between our feet, or the front, but between the feet, or just hand, fist, or fingers to the floor. We're going to bend. We're going to take the left arm, so it's in the center underneath our heart, and bend the left leg as we inhale and lift the right arm up and look up towards it. And then exhale, slowly bend that right knee as we change the arms out, straighten the left as the left arm rises up. We exhale, slowly bend that left knee as the hand comes to the floor, and then the right leg and arms straighten up. Exhaling back down, bending that right knee, swapping the arms out. Inhale, straighten the left, lift the arm. Exhale, in, and exhale. Inhale, one last round. We're going to finish on the right side. Both knees slightly bent. Can you bring your hands to the floor, widen your feet just a little bit, and we're going to take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to lift the heels high like we're in stilettos and drop the heels low. The buttocks low. And we are marrying those knees and upper arms if we can. So beginning to find that shape again. And then inhale, press into your hands, feel the weight of the legs and the body come into the arms as you lift the heel, the buttocks high, the heels are high as well. And then exhale, we simply fold, dropping the heels down and releasing the head. And then inhale, it's like a half lift with the heels lifting high in stilettos. And then exhale, drop the buttock down. So we're in a squat with the high heels. And then lean into the arms, feel the weight come into the hands and begin to lift up, squeeze the thighs into the arms, and then simply come out of there, dropping the heels and folding over your thighs. One more time. Inhale, half lift the heels, bend the knees, begin to even bend your elbows and marry the legs and arms as you drop the hips down. And then to come up, we need to press into the arms, lean forward. And as we lean forward, we lift the buttocks, feel the weight into the hand, squeeze those elbows in towards each other to keep really firm, and then exhale and release. Let's roll up like a rag doll. Inhale, pressing the feet into the floor. And as the shoulders come over the hips, we let the arms come all the way up. And as we do, we're just going to play again through our wrists and hips. One more inhale, rise up from your feet to your heart, to your hands. And as you exhale, forwarding once again. Half lift on the inhale, but as we half lift, we're going to walk the hands forward into downward facing dog. Have a little play once again. Pedaling the feet. Wagging your tail. You might even like to roll the chin from side to side. Find that nice even spread of the palms of the hands into the floor. Feel the fingers spreading and pressing into the earth as well. Pull from the hands all the way up into the shoulders. And then the shoulders all the way back to the hips, and particularly the inner shoulder blades, pulling all the way back into the sternum, sacrum. And then inhale, lift the heels high again and drop the knees down to the earth. As we exhale, we're going to drop the head and tail round through the spine. Really find that nice round flexed spine. And then inhale, roll up the sit bones, open the heart. Press the heart through the arms, press the hands into the floor, and then exhale, coil back in, dropping head and tail. Releasing the head fully, tucking your buttocks in towards the center. And then inhale, rolling up. And exhale down. Okay, so we roll up just to neutral. We're going to widen our hands as we take our fingers out to the sides. So the heel of the hands are facing in towards each other. I like to widen my knees just a little bit here. And then we just rock from side to side. And then from there, we're going to take the left hand and turn the fingers completely in. If you like, you can turn your right hand so they're facing the front again, or leave them out to the side because it doesn't matter. We're going to take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to tuck the tail and drop the head. And then continue with up cat. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, coiling in. Press into the hands. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, pressing. Yum. Give it a nice stretch and then just back to neutral. Releasing the hand and changing out for the right hand to come so the fingers face into the center. Take an inhale there, and as you exhale, down cat. So coiling in, dropping head and tail. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale, coiling in. One more round. Now, if you've completed that round, come back to neutral and turn the left fingers also in. So now we have both fingers turning in the opposite direction. Take an inhale, and as we exhale, drop head and tail. Inhale, rolling it up. So begin to really feel into your body and see where you need to stretch into, where you really need to give some extra attention. One more round. And then back to neutral. Release the left hand, release the right hand, give it a little shake, and then we're going to take so the back of the hand comes to the floor. Oh, you can barely see that, right? And then again, just a down cat here, just a careful down cat. And then just lift up onto your knuckles, and then a little shake out again, and place it back on the floor, and we shake out the left hand. Place the back of the hand onto the floor. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just carefully rounding and carefully pressing the back of the hand into the floor. And then the inhale can release us out, and we come up onto our knuckle to start with, and then just slowly release it out, shake it out. Then we bring our big toes together, knees apart, drop the buttocks down, and take a moment where we can just rest into our peace, rest into our wisdom. Couple of deep breaths, and if you'd like to release the wrists even further, you can bring the hands over the head and begin to rotate here, which may feel pretty nice by now. So back of the hands to the back of the fingers, back of thumbs, heel of hand, back of, so rotating and taking the rotation in both directions just for a few rounds. So a little bit of wrist work today, so please take the time out that you need to. Rest and massage the wrists as you need to. So don't be afraid to come out. Okay, so we're back on all four paws, tucking those toes under and coming back into downward facing dog. Press the hands into the floor, find that nice clean line from the palms of the hands all the way to the hips. And from the sit bones rising up towards the ceiling, reaching down into the heels, and from the tail shooting off on an angle into the sky, to the crown of your head shooting off down into the earth. We're going to walk those feet in just like an inch on either side, or even a half an inch on either side, so they meet a little bit more into the middle. And then inhale, lift the left leg up into space, reaching it out. And as we exhale, then bend the knee and come forward, leaning into a plank pose and bringing that left knee to the left upper arm and marrying them, if it's possible, bending the elbow enough that it takes the weight a little bit. And then inhale, push back and up, and exhale forward, taking the knee onto the forearm, little bit of weight, and then inhale, reach up, yum, yum. Exhale, forward. And then inhale, reach up. A little rotation of the ankle, just once or twice in both directions. Or bend the knee and just lift the hip momentarily, and then use an exhale to guide that foot through to the top of your mat to the front. Making any little adjustments you need to with your feet, because we're going to have a lift off. So we're going to come straight up into a standing lunge. So you might like to bend that back knee a little bit, coil into your center and reach all the way up. Little play with the wrists if you feel you need it. Otherwise, directly bringing them into our fire mudra that we've been doing. And then take an inhale, reach, reach, reach up. And as you exhale, begin to ground down and slice the air in front of you. You might like to try some Ujjayi breathing if you're good with that. Certainly can help with focus and concentration. Inhale, rising. Exhale, slicing. Inhale, rise. Let's just hold there for a moment. Little lift of that back heel might guide you up, but then drop it back down. Take one more breath here, and as you do, then bend the elbows and drop that right elbow behind the head and the left elbow down. And we have this little pull into the right side of the body. We're pulling to the left, but we feel the stretch in the right. Take a breath here. Maybe even open your heart a little bit more by pressing the head back into the arm. And then as you exhale, take the arm back over the head and see if you can bring the elbow to the outer edge of that left leg, hands in prayer. If this is too much, you could always just have the forearm onto the thigh, or indeed even the hand down on a block on the floor. If you can, you slide that elbow down a little deeper, hands come to the heart, and we look over that back elbow. One more breath there. Take an inhale. As you inhale, lift back up and then to the center, to the front. And then as we exhale, hands and knee, back knee comes to the floor. Inhale to pull back there. Pull that left hip back. And exhale, open the knee up to the side as you come forward. So the ankle and wrist cross over. And then inhale, pull back. Lean into the leg, open up the back of the leg, and then exhale, come forward, letting the knee fall out to the side. And last one, inhale, pull back. Drop it down so you can feel the back of your leg getting a nice stretch. We're lengthening through the spine as well. And then exhale, rock forward. Knee coming out, and we just open our heart here. Press the back leg into the floor. All the way from the foot, all the way up, reaching into the heart, reaching into the crown. And then carefully on the inhale, pull back. And on the exhale, we come straight forward. So tuck the back toes, lift the knee on the inhale, step back on the exhale, and just enjoy your dog for a moment. Then we want to make sure the feet aren't too far apart. We inhale, lift the right leg up, stroke the sky. And as we exhale, we coil it in, bringing it through, lean forward, slightly bend that elbow as you marry the knee and the upper arm. Inhale, lift the leg high. Exhale, coming forward into plank, bringing the knee to the arm. Inhale, rise. Exhale, knee to forearm, not forearm, upper arm. And then inhale, lift, rise, hold, ankle, 2 or 3 times in each direction. Bend the knee, open the hip up just momentarily, reach up, take an inhale, and as you exhale, guide that leg through to the front, to the middle. Get comfortable with your feet so they're in nice alignment for liftoff. Press both feet into the floor, but particularly the front, and inhale, rise. Hands meet overhead. I was exactly the same, a little dodgy. And then exhale, slice through the center. Keep your drishti, your focus through your eyes, nice and steady. Inhale, rising. Exhale, slicing. Inhale, rising. Exhale, slicing. This time when we rise, we stay. We inhale, rise up through the center. Exhale, just to drop in. And then another inhale is going to really reach up into the hands, and then we just simply interlace and drop that right elbow down to the side. Left elbow hugs behind the head, and we just lean into the right side as we kick back into that left leg, that left heel, and open up the left side of the body. Breathe into the thigh, the hip, the waist, the ribs, even the shoulders. One more breath there. And as we exhale, we're going to take the arms back over the head. Begin to bring that left elbow to the right knee. Hands come into prayer. You might need a little adjustment of that back foot. If it's not long enough, make it longer. You could drop the back knee to the floor. You could have your forearm to the thigh, or you could have your hand on a block or floor just opposite the foot. Take a nice last breath there. And use the next inhale to lift yourself out of there. And then exhale back down to the earth. Dropping that back knee to the floor. And we inhale and pull back. You can let that foot lift off completely as we fold over the front leg. And then exhale as the knee comes out to the side. And then inhale, pull back. Over the leg, and then exhale, let it fall out the side. Press that back foot into the floor. Open your heart. Inhale, pull back, straighten out. And exhale as we come forward. And just for a moment, feel that nice line of energy coming from the back foot to the heart, to the crown. That awakeness, that alertness. This is for me called the meerkat, meerkat pose. Be as alert as a meerkat. Yes, that's it, Nikki. Beautiful. Inhale, pull back carefully. And exhale to come back forward. And then flatten the hands, tuck the toe, lift the back knee. That's all on an inhale. We exhale to step back. Downward facing dog. Just take a moment in comfort, in peace, in rest. And then as you're ready, we inhale the heels high, drop the knees low. And exhale, untuck the toes and just drop back down into child's pose. You might like to take the hands so they sit alongside the feet. If you needed to, before you do that, you could also take some time with the wrists over the head. Breathe into the body. And then use an inhalation to roll up into sitting. And we're going to bring our hands to the back, just behind us, onto our fingertips. Find the lift from the lower belly into the solar plexus into the heart. Lift the chin, lift your gaze. And as you exhale, dive the chin down and dive down into your thighs. So you're coming back into child's pose. And then on the next inhale, you bring your hands flat to either side of your knee and push up. And push up so your thighs, your shins and knees lift off the floor. You drop the head around it there and then exhale, release. Hands back behind us. Inhale, heart opens. Lift from the belly to the heart. Exhale, chin drops in and we coil back down into a peaceful child pose. Hands come to the knees and then inhale, press up. And exhale, release down. One more round. Hands come just behind us. Inhale from belly to heart. Exhale, coiling in, peaceful child. And then hands to the knees. Inhale, press up. And exhale, release down. And just bring your hands to your thighs. You might like a little rub, a little love. Anything that's irritating you in shoulders, neck, wrists, please take time. And now we come into the final pose, the crescendo, the purpose of our practice. You might like your blocks a little handy. We're going to try something with that as well and see if that's helpful to you. But to start with, let's just bring our hands flat onto the floor in front of our knees. And then tuck your toes under. And then begin to lift the knees off the floor and come up into like a uttanasana, standing forward fold. We're going to have our feet around about hip distance, maybe a little wider, and our hands are definitely shoulder distance, and our feet away from the hands is about a foot distance, but you might need to just adjust that for yourself. Then we'll lift those heels as we did before, and as we lift the heels, we slightly bend the knees, and then we're slightly going to bend the elbows, and we're just going to find a marriage here. You might find that as you do that, you want to change the distance of your feet. Lift the heels, suck that lower belly in, begin to bend both knees and elbows, marry the underarms with the knees or the knees with the underarms, and begin to pull weight, to really round through the spine and lift through the belly. Then, if you like, you could try just lift off, but if you like, you can try the blocks as well. We're going to place the blocks where the feet are going to be. Stand on the blocks. And then fold down. And then find the floor with our hands. You might need to already start bending those knees. And then find the same process, lifting the heels slightly, bending knees and elbows, marrying those knees into the underarms, beginning to put the weight into the hands, lift from your belly, and see if you can lift your toes off the blocks. I know I find the block thing a little harder personally, but I've seen it and thought that looks interesting. It might really help other people. If it's not working and you think, I'm not sure about the blocks, or you've had to go with the blocks and you want to have a go without the blocks, then just take your time to have that play. Woo! And it might be that you fall forward. Have a pillow there if you're really worried about it. You know, some days this is easy and other days it's unavailable, which is what I'm finding for myself today. And then after you've had a go, and you've had enough, then just come and sit back down on your buttocks. Bring the soles of the feet together. Lengthen up through the spine. Just gently tuck the chin in towards the chest. And just taking a few nourishing deep breaths. If it's available to you, you can engage Ujjayi breath. If you feel a little breathless for that, then just leave it. Either your hands can be wrapped around your ankles or around the toes, if that's available to you. You take an inhale and allow the exhalation to drop the left ear towards the shoulder. And then on another exhalation, just taking the chin, dipping it down towards the shoulder. And then an inhale to lift the chin away, dropping the head slightly back. And we're not taking it all the way up into a rotation, just finding the stretch for you. You can have a little play, little micro movements to try and find where the best stretch for your neck is. And then once you're done, you're going to lift the chin up into the sky, just to the center, and then drop it back down. Slightly tucking the chin back in. Take an inhale as you lengthen up through the spine. And then the exhale as we drop the right ear to the shoulder. Breathing here, creating space with breath. When you're ready, you can take an inhale and use the exhalation to begin to drop the chin in towards that shoulder. And after a breath or two, you can use an inhalation to lift the chin away from the shoulder, up. And just begin to explore for yourself. And then you might like to lift the chin up to the center. And then just back down. And here just releasing the hands and rotating through the shoulders. You can change the legs if it's super uncomfortable for you, or just stay as you are for a moment longer. Any socks that needed to come off for practice can go back on if you're feeling the cold. When I came into this room to teach class, it was 10 degrees. I brought the heaters in late. Central heating's gone, and I need to carry heaters back and forth to different various places. Then, laying your body down, you might like to just take the thighs, knees with you. And begin to hug them in as you gently rock from side to side. Just feeling into the back. You might like to make little circles with those knees, the massage, the lower back and sacrum. The postures we've done are really nice and releasing for that area. More tension created perhaps in the arms, shoulders. So you could place your feet down so they're nice and wide, perhaps almost as wide as your mat, so your little toes can feel the edge of your mat. And the arms can go nice and wide, and just drop your knees down to one side and the head over to the other. You can inhale to lift them back to the center and exhale them over to the other side, head in the opposite. And then inhale back to the center. Let's bring our arms up on the inhale into prayer over our heart, and then exhale them back over our heads to the floor. And inhale them back to the center. And as you exhale, I want you to take your knees to the left and open the arms up so that right arm is really getting that beautiful stretch. And then inhale both the knees back to the center and hands back over the head of the heart. And exhale, drop the knees to the right and stretch into that left arm. And then inhale back to the center with both the knees and the hands. And then from there, simply allowing the hands to drop back down to the heart and then the earth as you straighten the legs out, feet nice and wide. Make yourself comfortable and feel yourself aligned. Begin the Shavasana process with 3 deep breaths, but with an extension in the exhalation. You might even like to slowly release that exhale out through the mouth. And then let everything go. Be completely without purpose here. Nothing to achieve. Nothing to experience. Just allow yourself to fully rest back into the loving arms of the present moment. Let your whole body soften. Let your attitude soften. Let your mind soften. Completely surrender the act of doing. to really soak yourself into the experience of being. And then we deepen the breath again. And gently invite the breath back into the body. Without activating a muscle anywhere within ourselves, just pouring the breath into and throughout the body. And then as you're ready, you can invite movement, motion back in any way, in any place that comes to you. Any little movement, gesture, posture, please follow. And then as you're ready, you can simply roll on to a comfortable uninjured side. Traditionally, this is the right. And as we bring our hands together into prayer, just a light rub together before we place them over our face, over our eyes, gaining clarity. And just massaging the forehead around the eyes, maybe the eyes themselves. The eyes in which we perceive and see. It's so important to be clear here, particularly in this day and age where there's so much deception, so much lying and misinformation. There's very confusing to be human just now. So finding the heart energy and keep coming back to the energy of the heart, to the cleansing or purification of the breath, and to honestly trying to see all sides of all stories. Namaste. So all the best with working a little bit more into your purpose, into any new purposes emerging, and how you want to live your life now or in the future, working towards that purpose. Thank you.